Cult report for Friday, December 5. Can't believe this year's almost over. Can't believe it's almost Christmas. Can't believe it's not summer anymore because we're back out. Anyways, what is up in the cult creators community? Actually, I'm screen sharing looking at yours, so maybe that's...
You're actually not, yeah. You got to go screen share again. I don't know why it keeps failing.
Good stuff.
Let's go.
Okay. What is up?
The cult report keeps us honest, keeps us moving, keeps us doing shit. So this build in public energy. It's also what we got. Somebody on our done for you plan. He's doing the same build in public, and that is so far going really well. Rebuilding his agency up to 100K. So I feel like every time we see build in public, it's just what the people want. So here we go.
People are creepy. They like to see behind the scenes, what are people doing? And since we're all doing kind of the same thing, that it makes sense that we share what we're doing. And so hopefully some of those things can transfer over to your communities. But cult creators, we lead, we lure. I mean, that's essentially like the big components. We're still tightening up our rituals, but lead and lure are like everything when it comes to a community. So those are our pillars for the cult report. So up front, we got the raise a glass. Still working a coffee here. So Keith is our very first cult creator VIP, taking that highest tier. So $1,000 a month gets him unlimited access to us, calls, DMs, and then we can actually help him work through the creative strategy behind creating his tribe map and creating his customer call. And I mean, we've had one call since joining, but it's going well. And he's got a green hat on the way, which I'll talk about later. But we're all about sending an anchor to new members or members who unlock certain tiers because, I mean, if anything, law of reciprocity. One, we want him to feel like he's getting something in exchange, even though he is with like our cults. People like something physical, and law of reciprocity makes him less likely to be mad if shit doesn't go well because at least he's got a hat. But it's also merch of the identity. So one of the fastest ways to embody the identity is to put on a hat that says cult creator. So we'll get into that in our in-doc later on. But yeah, here's to you, Keith. And then Curtis is one of our newer members. We've been friends with him for a long time, working together on our businesses, respectively, for like since 2016, I think. But yeah, now he's building the Sunday Gentleman, and his content is crushing it. So good on you for going viral. Keep testing, keep fumble fucking forward, and that's what we're all doing here, right? Okay, optimizing. So we are working on our indoctrination. So especially now that we went to freemium, and so we have free members in the community, then the indoctrination is not only like the first thing people see, it's also the most important to set the tone, to teach people how to behave and belong to the tribe, and you know, what the fuck are we doing here, right? So indoctrination is kind of like the biggest pillar for cult creators because everything comes down to identity, right? You can't have what you've never had. You can't, if you like, you have to become someone new who has what you've never had, right? So we need to teach you how to become a cult creator. So that's where I felt like our current indoctrination was a little messy and busy. And I felt like I wasn't following the brainwashing into becoming a cult creator, you know, just a light version each morning, but we really need to rewire our beliefs and our behaviors into becoming a cult creator so that we can achieve that, you know, freedom number. For us, it's 100 members paying $69 a month. And so we are restructuring what that indoctrination sequence looks like, specifically around the beliefs that are sabotaging your success. So, I mean, that's like everything, right? Beliefs creates behaviors. So if we can focus more on the beliefs holding you back and how to rewire those, then you're more likely to actually become the person who can have what you want. So that is our indoc, and part of that conversation is indoctrination into the tiers. So that's why we added hats for Keith and other VIPs. So this is an example of that anchor. And it might change. We just know we needed something to walk our talk, and we freaking love sending gifts. So this is the blue hat, cult creator, and this is the green hat. So this is one Keith is getting in the mail right now, which I think I like the green better, but I'm a green guy. And green is money.
Good to have options.
And then, so the indoctrination and then the tribe map. So this is like the first thing people do when they actually pay to join like the cult creator $69 a month model. So right now, like in Doc, it felt a little heavy, and we just want to make everything so simple, right? We just need to punch people in the brain hole. And so right now, especially working with Keith, then it's like there is a lot of nuance to the process, but also because we've been like balls deep in this thing for 7 years and then like a decade of digital marketing, like there's just so much we can say through each point. But if we just make it more of like a checklist of these are the things you need to have, then it takes a lot of creative burden off, because you can just say, do I have this or do I not? Could it always be better? Of course, it could always be better, but we're always going to optimize for better. So we just want to start with good enough. So the difference between a common community and a customer cult, comes down to like a core 7 things. And so you have them or you don't. So we're trying to restructure the tribe map in our trainings, specifically to make it a little more clear for everyone to say, you don't need to be a creative genius. You don't need to have like all this psychological background. You just need to have these certain things. So you can check the box and move on and build something cool that people actually want to pay to belong to. So part of that process is how it is applied. So we build the map so that we have the foundation of a customer cult, because it tells you what do you need to say in your marketing and your about page to get people in. How do you build the classroom? How do you build the community? And so right now our classroom is like the 9 steps, but to someone who doesn't understand our process, which is going to be everybody, then it's like, does similarity systems or milestones really make sense without context? Probably not. So we need to meet them where they're at. And so we know people are obsessed with attraction. Everyone wants new members. People are obsessed with engagement because they don't want a ghost town. And people should be obsessed about retention, because you can't grow your MRR if people keep leaving, right? So that's where we are restructuring our components into those 3 pillars: attract, engage, retain, so that you can understand, so most people understand why they need this content, but also so you understand how each piece is applied. Kind of like our book, we had all 27 secrets, and then it's like, but some are specific to marketing, some are specific to engagement in the classroom, some are like community based. So we made sure that they knew where they were applied. And so now our frameworks are following the same kind of model there. And then that allows us to have better milestones at each step. All right, so that's the classroom. I'm sure we'll rebuild it again eventually because we're builders. But so that's lead. Now lure is marketing. And so we know people love a series. People want to know why they should come back to your Instagram, for example. And so it's one thing having like a clear narrative of what to talk about, but under that, then it's like, how do you create a series so they want to binge more content? And so it's like, yeah, this one video might do good, might not do good, but that shouldn't matter. Like, you shouldn't base success over the stats of a single video. You should treat YouTube and Instagram like a bingeable library, like your reputation. So it doesn't matter if one video does good or not. It matters that somebody has a place that they can learn about who you are and what you got going on. Because if they like the vibe of you or what you're talking about, at least they can then go follow this series to get a little more context. And it doesn't, like, all the pressure isn't on one video, it's on the series. And so we are just going to keep it simple and just call it Cult School, which might be already taken, but ultimately, if we just want to share cult psychology secrets for how to build and grow a community, then Cult School basically sums it up. So we are taking our insider secrets and going to be putting them public on Instagram one at a time. So something we should have been doing a long time ago, but we got caught up in all the other things we should be doing or could be doing.
Well, also with that is that we had to redo the tribe map a few times to even get to a place where we wanted to communicate it, and we're able to communicate it in a way that actually was us. Right? Like when it was just like tribe method for coaches, it just felt like people pleasing, coaching coaches for the sake of coaching coaches, or like making money. And eventually, once we got to cult creators, which was the end of May, beginning of June, then everything came to life. So yeah, we had to do our tribe map probably 3 times over the past year to get to a place where creating content was easy.
Yeah, and I was creating content around like our framework, but people don't understand why they need it, and we don't need to convince them that they need it. We just need to entertain them and show them why they should be paying attention to cult psychology specifically. So, give them what they want, sell them what they need. So that's where we're keeping the framework stuff more on the back end and the fun stuff more on the front end. And you unpaused.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, and then with that, it's how to do it quicker, how to do it better, how to do it easier, right? Like Hormozy says, more, better, new. So we know at this stage, then we just need to do more. We just need to keep pumping out more. So how can we do that faster and better, right? Like we are kind of getting caught in, the design and like green screen and like really showing and B-roll. And it's like, well, then we're not doing anything. So this week we've really leaned into those like 7-second clips. So it's just like, background of you moving, maybe a GIF, and then just words over top. So no talking head, no talking even in general. It's just something they read, put some audio behind it. It took me like 15 minutes maybe this morning to like film one and edit and post it on all 3 platforms. So we can do a lot more and just more than better than new.
So yeah, yesterday I was very tired. I'm still like fighting some type of cold and whatever, but like I know we need content out there. And so yeah, the 7-second clips, like a lot of the TikTok content strategists are talking about like just get a little B-roll, 7-second video, trending audio, and just a text hook. And those are like algorithmically designed to crush it. And then Ryan Lee, he's been a marketer for like 30 years and he's dreaming and scheming on new businesses all the time. And he just started one where he just started a new YouTube account, just posting 7-second shorts, and he's getting like at least 1,000 views per. And so those really compound and really help you build an audience. And it's not hard. He films like 10 of them they're 7 seconds each, right? So you can go all day. And they're great for like little beliefs, little hot takes. So I just posted a belief that growing your school is not about getting more new members, because everybody's obsessed with new members, but it's about getting more per member. And so those who have that shared belief will feel like they are one of us, and therefore they are more likely to want to join our school. So it can be that simple. And so we're leaning into simplicity. And so that's social content. In terms of the model itself, then yeah, we moved to freemium, I guess like a week ago. And so now we're getting new members trickling in almost every day, and it's super exciting. And then you can talk about the next one.
Yeah, just in terms of things that have worked. So I think it was last week we got an ad in the classifieds school. And I mean, school doesn't have the analytics tracker yet. I think that's coming out in January to see what is coming from like YouTube, what's coming from Facebook, what's coming from other school communities. And so we don't know what traffic is coming from there, but we will eventually. But that one costs $22 for the year. So why not, right? But another strategy that works that unlocks 1,000 MRR growth with Keith is I was in Schoolers. And so I just start commenting, because even like the 100 where school took the top 100 people last year and ran a challenge, I think it was 100 days, and then tracked MRR growth. And the average person increased MRR by 15,000. And their main strategy for traffic is the rule of 300, which is like 300 minutes of advertising, whether it's like commenting, posting content, partnerships, whatever. A lot of it is like just posting content and commenting. And so, yeah, just to prove that, I mean, I saw Keith's comment in school. I did a comment and I was like, hey, why don't I just film a video showing you what I mean? Sent to DM and I'm like, hey, dude. And then it was like an 8-minute loom of just an 8-minute video overview of the strategy I was talking about. I think it's like how I laid out the content for another fitness membership. He joined and then he upgraded, right? So how the small things can add up. But posting and commenting, I mean, they're both free. 7-second videos and commenting. I mean, if you spend an hour a day doing that, it almost guarantees growth.
Which, I mean, for us, our main, like our perfect person is a schooler. So the people who are in the schooler community is our perfect people. And that's not going to be the case for everybody. but the more specific you are with niching down and finding your perfect tribal audience, the easier it is to find them. I mean, this wasn't the case for us a couple of months ago when we were still trying to cater to, like, we didn't even want to pigeonhole ourselves into the community model itself. And now it makes no sense why we were scared to limit ourselves to that, because it is a huge market. And I don't want to work with people on Kajabi or Heartbeat or Circle, because I don't like Kajabi and I haven't used the other things. So I can't exactly say how to implement our framework into that model. Whereas school, we know exactly what we're doing and how we can help other people. So the more suspiciously specific you can be with finding that tribal audience, the easier it is for you to find them and say the right things that make people want to join. So don't be scared to niche down, which kind of trickles into cult psychology. So the cult psychology kind of update this week, now that we are, because engagement comes down to rituals. And it's awkward for us because it's so meta. So like our rituals are doing rituals, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but our whole philosophy is about cult psychology. So we should be sharing cult psychology. We fucking love cult psychology. And so we are now posting a cult, just the tip Tuesday, a cult psychology tip every Tuesday, and the cult brand breakdown on Wednesday. So one is more of a secret. The other is more of a brand breakdown that has cult-like loyalty, because we know people just need to see what a customer cult is. It's a new thing, so we need to help people understand it and visualize it. So the more we can show other brands and communities that are crushing it, the easier it is for you to understand like the difference between yours and theirs. So this week was all about category creation. If you haven't seen that, then we talk about a framework for creating your own category, because especially there's been a lot of fitness people joining, which makes sense from our background, but it's impossible to be the best, especially in fitness. It's easier to be the only. So that's where you niche down to a specific tribal identity, and you can be the only logical choice for that identity. Whereas being the best in fitness, I don't even know how you'd get there. Almost impossible. So then Wednesday was a breakdown on how Borax, the cleaning company, decided, like, how they figured out to carve out their own category and become a cult brand amongst a very crowded industry. So check those out if you haven't yet. All good stuff, I'd say. But yeah, that's what we've been doing this week. Updating InDoc, figuring out how to update our classroom, sharing the good word on how to build a cult, and finding a little cold, just finding a little like cracked ribs. I had a friend wrestle me at Friendsmas last week and ended up getting like my whole body squished between his body and a hard tile floor. So we are in recovery mode, but all is good.
But still, fumble fucking forward.
Fumble fucking forward.
Try to end the year strong. Just keep doing the damn thing.
Yeah, we got 3 more weeks. 3 more weeks till Santa comes and everybody's on holidays. So
Probably more than 2 weeks.
Probably more like 2 weeks. So while the world might be a little sleepy, a little holiday mode, they're also thinking about next year and how to crush it. So if you are specifically B2B or in the money-making niche, or fuck health, right? Everybody wants to get healthy Jan 1st. So the things you do now are really going to set you up for the next year. So don't sleep on it. Amen, brother.
Fuck yeah, boy. All right.
All right. Well, that's us. That's the cult report. Number 4. All right, cool. Let's get it.